Mikey, remember to
Oh,
unmute us.
also let me know when we're live and like we're doing the thing. Are we doing the thing?
Pretty sure
Hi,
we're live.
hi, and welcome to Speaking from the Center. My name is Tim.
Sorry, and that I have made mistakes.
My name is Mark, wishing he was Tim.
Oh, wait a minute. Button's taking a second. Could happen at any moment. We'll never know.
We're not unmuted?
It could go at any point.
Wow, it's time.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. All right. Well, we might as well continue, and then it'll surprise us. There we go.
That wasn't me. I promise it wasn't me.
Sure it was.
And I'm Mike. And I'm Mikey. DJ Jazzy Jeff, a classic.
And we are Speaking from the Center.
Woohoo! From the center we speak.
Some guy left a comment. He's like, "This isn't very from the center."
That guy can go fuck himself.
That's the point, bitch.
He can fuck himself in the center. Fucked.
Who said that? Was it Dutch?
No, it was a comment, like a comment from a random YouTuber.
Oh, really?
User.
YouTube's not very from the center, so whatever.
Your mom's not from the center, bitch.
Well, the problem is the right is now off the edge of our flat Earth.
You know, here's
So
the real problem.
The center is no longer the center. Not even close anymore.
Here's the real problem. The co-hosts who were even slightly right-leaning are gone. No, the Nolan disappeared. Keith got up and walked away one day and never came back.
He still posts on Facebook every once in a while. I was like, I wonder if I should still be friends with this guy. He hasn't said anything to piss me off, so.
He's cool. We're cool. We play poker, but I told him he can come on the show whenever he wants. He's just too busy for us or whatever.
Oh,
he has a new secret show and hasn't told anyone.
Mm-hmm. He's hanging out with his cool new friends.
He's cheap.
Yeah, his cool new friends. But yeah, so if someone wanted to present a right-leaning perspective, I would not be against it. We just don't. None of us are right-leaning.
I can't understand how someone is right-leaning if they know all the facts.
You know what I mean? There is,
because they see things that are facts that are actually just opinions.
I can see like actual conservatism, not what the fuck, not this fascist nonsense is going on in the Republican Party right now. I can see actual conservatism as an argument for some things. You can be conservative on economics. You can be conservative on, you know, what Congress should be doing. You can be conservative on what your values are, whatever. And there are good arguments to be had on the conservative side. Unfortunately, nobody wants to make those arguments anymore because they're too moderate for the crazy fuckers on the right now.
Yeah, like all the I can't like the border wall. Do I think that we should let everybody walk through the border unchecked? Absolutely not. But that's also not our policy now. So you know what I mean? It's like they complain about things that already have solutions, and their solution is amp it up to 11. And then because you don't want to amp it up to 11, now you're a crazy person who's so far on the left. Is like, no, I've been to other countries. I don't think that their immigration policies are crazy. They allow guests in. You can like freely visit, and it's not a big hassle. But here, only if you are of brown skin do people start getting all pissed off about immigration shit. But they have nothing to say about, like, there's so many Polish people and Latvian people and Lithuanian people who have no kind of papers. And a lot of them are truckers, or they own businesses and stuff here. They are not legal at all. But no one is mad about the Lithuanian guy. Like my neighbor when I lived up in Naperville, it was a Lithuanian guy. Drove a fucking 2000, I don't know, like a late model fucking Beamer that he just showed up with one day. Like I'm pretty sure
sailed it across the ocean. It float good.
Pretty sure he was in some sort of mob activity, so I just kind of was nice to him, and I just kind of stayed out of the way. But my man, and then he smashed it, and he had a brand new one the very next day, and I was like, oh, and you rent an apartment? How the hell can you afford an $80,000 car and you rent here with me? I got a fucking 07 Mitsubishi. Like, what the fuck? Something ain't clicking here. But those guys are fine. Those guys are fine to come in and do whatever they want. But as long as it's brown people, I hate them. And because I don't want to hate brown people with you, I'm the radical leftist.
Well, brown people and Asian people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I was hearing an interesting argument talking about the issue with our nursing homes now, that like more than half of them are no longer taking on new residents because they don't have the staff.
Mm-hmm.
And 98% of these facilities can't find anyone to hire to fill the positions that are open. The one solution to this, and it's because a large majority of their workforce are from Latin American countries, is to sponsor visas for people to emigrate to the United States to work in our healthcare system. But they can't because everyone is against the brown people coming here.
And a lot of countries have those sort of special visa programs. Like, you know, the wife and I want to move to Ireland, and one of the ways we can get there is they're in desperate need of accountants.
Yeah.
So they have a special visa where if you are an accountant and you meet all their qualifications,
come on down.
You can go there. Yeah. You can just it's 2 years and then you're a citizen.
And the thing is, it's not like we don't use Mexican, and I'm just going to say, I'm going to stop beating around the bush here. It's not like we don't use Mexican labor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like there's Republicans have no problem with taking advantage of cheap Mexican labor. But when it comes to helping Mexicans become citizens, they're like, well, no, you gotta do it the right way. Well, then stop paying them under the fucking table because they're not coming here to fucking do nothing. They're not coming here.
Steal all our American benefits.
What benefits? We don't have no fucking benefits. We're benefitless.
We have slivers of benefits left. They're trying to get rid of those too.
We got We got benefit zest. Like they took the benefit and a cheese grater and gave us a little on the top of this poverty
benefits
pie.
Light.
Diet
benefits light. Diet light.
Diet light benefit zest.
Benefits zero. You know, like the Coke Zero, but it's benefits zero.
It looks like benefits, but there's no actual meat behind there.
Here, Mikey, I'm going to post something. I totally forgot about this, but this is something that is definitely related to what we were just talking about.
Before Reagan, farm workers didn't have to go through a border to work in Southwest and then go back after the season. Now it's all under the table and more exploitive.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny about that is presidents all the way through George W. Bush II were pro like legal immigration, and they were fine with a path to citizenship that was reasonable. And only when, you know, Trump started coming around did they completely turn around and say, no, all these people have to stay on the other side of the hit my mic. All these people have to stay on the other side of the border until we deem it's okay for them to come over.
They're stealing all our jobs that we don't want.
It won't do.
And you know, they're getting blamed for all the, I mean, they've always been getting blamed for all the drugs and whatnot. And Mexico, and it's a good percentage our fault because we decided to go into South America and Central America and fuck around for 20 years.
Whoops.
Yeah, we go in there and we ruin an entire region with our fucking wanting to play drug lord games and accidentally left the wrong people in power, and they're still fighting that battle today, but it's their fault and you better not come over. Hey, how dare you flee violence in the country that I disrupted?
Well, just spin the wheel of who wants to be the next leader of Colombia.
And did you hear about the people at the border that got captured?
Yes,
the Americans.
And then 2 died.
Yeah. I've been saying let me go back to a big screen of us. I've been saying for years, fucking stop criminalizing weed and you will cut off the biggest supply, like legalize all the drugs. Now the cartel, now Qatar over in the Middle East. Now they're broke. Like you could just starve them out by making it illegal over here. But if you keep it illegal and you keep this black market for for really, like, weed is not a dangerous drug, but weed's coming over the border and people are going to jail for the weed that's coming over the border. You wouldn't just make it legal, and then it's like it's not worth anything. Who wants fucking who wants smuggled weed when I can literally just grow it in my backyard?
When you can get like artisan weed, like the really fancy stuff.
Well, it's not confirmed because usually the cartels don't target American citizens because they know the U.S. gets mad about that kind of thing.
Right.
We did get mad about that kind of thing.
The 4 people that were kidnapped were black, and the leading theory is that the cartels thought they were a part of like a Haitian drug rival gang, and that's why they were targeted. So it was all by accident. And now half of them are dead. Granted, that's all just a theory at this point. Like, we might not ever actually know if they don't actually catch the cartel.
Yeah, and now fucking Lindsey Graham's out there proposing some sort of resolution to Congress that America take like military action in Mexico to stop the cartels, which is not going to make things better.
Or just legalize weed.
That'll have such a short. Yeah, you'll win. We'll go in, we'll win, we'll leave, and they'll be back. Like that's.
And I mean, it's not like we're like fucking surgeons with this shit. Look at how we did that over in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Look at all the collateral damage that we left over there, and then we left anyway, and the job still wasn't done. So what the fuck was the point of, like, no. That's stupid. Just stop trying to pick up El Chapo's kid, and you'll be fine.
Release them.
They tried to get El Chapo's kid, and they came in with the fucking warthog from Halo. A fucking pickup truck with a 50 cal mounted on the back, and they tore that jail apart. Fucking through the cinder blocks. They just decimated it. I said, yeah, you give up yet? They're like, yeah, man, here he comes. Here, go.
The cartels are better armed than the military.
We gave them the guns.
Yep.
Operation Fast and Furious.
Oh my god.
Not a joke.
That was the worst. We're the worst.
They fucking put a bunch, if you guys don't know, they put a bunch of fucking guns out in the desert with trackers on them. Went back to find the trackers, just found the trackers without guns attached to them anymore in a box. Said, thanks for the guns. Love the cartel.
So, Tim, how do we get into Ireland? It sucks here.
Tim, how big is your suitcase?
Cover that one more time.
Does it have
a big suitcase?
Does it have hair holes?
I can make hair holes.
I just have a little straw sticking out of the zipper.
I heard they got new scanny things at the airports that like you don't have to like take anything out of your bag anymore. Mm-hmm. So they might find you. What
if you said you were carrying a picture? A metal. You have a metal. It's a metal sheet, and it looks like someone hiding in a suitcase. And that's what your scanner's actually picking up.
Yeah.
There's not actually a person in there. It just looks like it because of the artwork that I bought from I don't know. Then you kind of have to like use whatever. You're a black fellow yourself. So a black artist made this for me, and that's why it's in I just really love supporting black artists. And that's all that is. Definitely not a person in there.
And then this is my family coffin. It's been in the family for generations. You don't need to look inside.
Coffins.
There's nothing in there.
Mark, we could say we died and then we want to be buried in Ireland.
Ireland.
I don't think that would go too well for you either, because like they don't really care the condition of the bodies that, you know, are dead.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
Oh, this coffin's gonna have all the cushions.
Airbags.
Also, you're gonna be put in like the cargo cabin where it's not pressurized.
Oh shit!
There's gonna be a heater in there too.
How about we might need to make it pressurized inside there just so that our fucking eyeballs don't pop out.
In the lid, there's gonna be an oxygen tank and then like a heater, just a mini space heater.
We could have a
pressurized oxygen next to a heat source. It's a great idea.
Oh, and also it's confined in a sealed container, so nothing bad could happen. Nothing.
All of a sudden, you just hear a boop. What was that in the cargo bay?
You just see a coffin just go. It just rocks back and forth for no reason.
Oh boy.
All right, put Sarah Huckabee Sanders on there again.
If I must.
Do we have to?
Listen, they don't care about child labor in Arkansas. They're like, it's fine, it's cool, whatever.
Didn't she also take Spanish off of everything? Because like, this is America.
I think so, probably.
Off of all the government websites and paperwork, they just got rid of the Spanish.
Because we have a national language. No, we don't.
Fucking Alex says, back to the mines.
So she signed a bill into law this week that rolled back a number of child labor protections across the state, including a measure that had required employees to require employers to obtain certifications for children under the age of 16. And she said that the government believes protecting kids is most important, but the permit was an arbitrary burden on parents to get permission from the government for their child to get a job.
Now I can force my children to work even earlier. Good.
Small confession, I kind of worked under the table when I was 14.
I mean, so did I, but it was for my dad's
landscaping
company.
You're not working for insert megacorp that'll exploit you for $6 an hour.
Well,
that's child contractor.
Well, kind of. I don't know if they made quite millions, but they made decent money. And it was for like a plant nursery.
Out them. Who were they?
I mean, they're probably still in business, but I mean, I'm fucking 35 now. I only worked there for a few weeks, and then I am a hypocrite. Sorry, Alex. But this is like, can you guys pull up what's the minimum wage in Arkansas? It's gotta be low.
It's the national minimum wage, so it's $7.95.
That's not even lunch.
Nope. That's half of lunch now.
Yeah. And she's fine with kids as young as 14 working.
So if I got a kid to work like after school a couple days and on the weekends, they get maybe 25 hours and they're making $7.95, $198 times. So they're going to get $120.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
That's not even worth it.
For a week's work, and you got to go to school and do your homework, and you're 14, $120. Just let them stay home for 120. For $120, I'd pay the kid to stay home. Do your homework and be somebody.
Get good grades, and I'll pay you the equivalent of a minimum wage.
That's barely allowance. Like, that's allowance.
It's way more than my allowance back in the day.
Well, if you think about
it, does have a minimum wage that's above the federal. It's $11.
Oh well, that changes.
That's a little different.
Not by much though.
It's a minuscule change in the right direction.
Oh, so they get like $180.
Yeah, something like that.
But that's it. But 25 hours is a lot for a student.
Yeah, 25 hours is a lot for a student.
I remember that Wisconsin did something similar last year. They rolled back some of the restrictions on kids working in like their parents' business, like if they have a little grocery store or a restaurant or something like that. They were limited to like 8 to 10 hours a week. And they got rid of that so that the parents could have their kids work way more because no one wants to work anymore.
It says here, previously minors under the age of 16 needed to verify their age and get the written consent of a parent or guardian before a work certificate could be issued by the state's Division of Labor. But HB 1410, known as the Youth Hiring Act of 2023, which passed the Arkansas State Legislature earlier this month, no longer requires youth under the age of 16 to have a work certificate as a condition of their employment. When at my last job, we never took work permits because it's a pain in the ass. Because you can't work the kid. Like it's not worth it for the kid to even come here because they're only going to be like, you can't work them more than like 4 hours per shift, which is going to get them what, $30 at the end. So they can only come out. So they come in for 4 hours. They get $28.99, and that's like, it's not worth it. They can't work past like 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock. It depends on the state, but there's tons of laws about when you can and cannot work people who are underage, because you got to be fair to them. And we don't want them, like Alex said, back in the fucking mines. And not all parents are good parents. Some parents will definitely put their kids to work and then take all the kids' money and put that money right into up their nose or in their arm. Unfortunately, I've seen it.
My sister-in-law's husband, was his parents made him go work at McDonald's at 15 and made him pay rent starting then.
Yeah. Like at 16, I was working legally and all that stuff, and it wasn't really a big deal. But once I turned 18, I had to work to help support the family. So it happened to me at 18, but I could totally see that happening a few years earlier. And then what is the kid supposed to do? Like be homeless?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so at the bottom of the article, it mentions a Packer sanitation service that illegally employed 102 children between the ages of 13 and 17 in jobs that required the use of toxic chemicals and clean razor sharp saws. The problem here is, like, what's the slippery slope on this? Like, what jobs can these kids do? What jobs can't they do?
Nuclear waste extraction.
Like,
here, clean these chainsaws.
Are we going back to
you got
the
nice
early
little
1900s?
You got little fingers. You can get right up in there and just get them chunks out.
Well, this is related back to the immigration thing. They would rather force their children to work than to allow anyone to emigrate here to take these jobs.
Yeah, and pay them well.
And pay them a living wage.
And I think it was Dutch, actually. We got into like a real big fight about minimum wage, especially for kids and stuff, because he was adamant that his kid didn't need that much money. My kid doesn't need $15.
Oh, I remember that.
My kid doesn't need $15 an hour. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, that is what work should give as a minimum. That is what your kid deserves, whether or not you think they deserve it. That is what work deserves. That's what the employer needs to pay that.
Yeah, he had some sort of weird notion that the older you are, you should be expected to make more money. But if you're a kid and you're doing the same job as someone who's like 35, you should make the same amount of money.
It's the same job.
If you're both working as like busboys or whatever, like, you're going to make the same amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
I better.
It doesn't matter if you're 16 or 30 or whatever. You're going to, like, on the food truck, I would pay the same amount of money to a cook, regardless of their age. 5 years old or 50, it doesn't matter.
You heard it here first, people. Tim hires. Someone's got to clean that grill.
Here's your scuba mask. Get in the fryer. Don't worry, we think it's cool.
I turned it off 10 minutes ago. Get in there.
Well, and then you had the exact opposite. Like not my current job, my job before it, I was hired on. I negotiated pretty hard to get a higher salary. And it was me and one older lady that I worked with. I made $12 more an hour than her. She'd been doing the job for like 8 years.
I don't understand this planet anymore.
I tried to convince her wages. I didn't actually tell her what I made. She ended up in conversation told me what she made.
Because that's a tactic that employers use to pay people as little as possible, is that they don't really they make people uncomfortable discussing their wages.
Well, and it's a crime. They can't force you not to talk about it. Pretty sure. I don't know what.
No, they can't force you not to talk about it, but they frown upon it because they don't want everyone to know what everyone else made, because then they would all demand equal money.
When I tried to convince her to say she should at least make as much as me, and she just didn't want to raise a fuss, and she'd rather just work, and she was grateful for the job. I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, that's not fair to you. Like, I get you want to be stoic, but also not fair.
I'm not going to take a pay cut, but you need to make more money. This is not okay. But I gave up on that because she didn't budge on it. But
and with people, like, I think it's tacky to talk about your wages at work, but I don't think it should be illegal or frowned upon from the company, because you don't want like the new guy to listen to everybody fucking brag about how much more money they make because they got their, like, you know what I'm saying, a year before them. It's like, oh, you're only making fucking 14.25. Yeah, I'm at 16.30. Yeah, must like that kind of shit is just annoying, and that's why that's typically why I would tell people not to discuss your stuff, because we were pretty fair about this is the starting pay, and then we were in a union, so like there was a whole scale. So it's like, all right, after 6 months it goes to that, and after that it goes that. So if you knew when someone started working, you knew how much money they made.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing. You already knew that,
right?
Like you knew the pay scale,
right? It was announced, and it was like in our union book, and like everybody had a copy of the contract, and you could tell, you could cross multiply and divide and figure out how much somebody made without getting in their face and saying, how much money do you earn?
That's a union for you. They give you that info.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, go for it. You're good.
When I worked at Panera Bread, when I became I was like lower management. I think it was a shift supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
And they just started rolling out tips for employees. Like there were instead of the like the jars in front that were for like Feed America, the charity, they were for tips for employees then. And they did not tip managers. Now, I wasn't technically a full manager,
right?
But I also wasn't an employee. So I made a few dollars above minimum wage, but I also made less than the employees after their tips.
Awesome.
And I asked for a demotion.
That's what I said.
I said, what?
That's what to the general manager, I was like, listen, you either have to give me a raise or demote me because I want to make more money. And he ended up giving me a raise to compensate for the lack of tips. But like, he was like, I can't give you any of the tips because you're not an employee anymore. You're a manager.
And I think that goes to one of the negotiating tactics when you get hired onto a private company. They ask you, so what do you expect to get compensated for this role? Because they don't give you the range. They have a set range, but they want to see what you're willing to accept.
Yeah.
So that they can then negotiate around that rather than what the position actually is.
And
whenever you're asked that question, always say, I don't know the full scope of this job yet to really determine my own wage. What's the range that you have decided the role needs?
And when right before I left the grocery business, they wanted me to take a promotion, and I was like, okay, you're gonna pay me the industry standard, right? Well, we were thinking like 50,000. I was like, oh, that's not the industry standard, and that's not what so and so makes at that store. That's not what so and so makes at that store. Well, that's where you would start. I was like, I don't have to start there. You could start me higher if you liked, but you're not gonna. And if you're not gonna, then I'm not gonna. Like, why the hell would I take on all the responsibility and the work for less money than I'm making now? Like, you can say 45K, but I know with overtime, but I could beat that. You know what I mean? Like, I know with holidays, I'm gonna beat that. So, like,
you're showing us that you're worth it by working for free.
And they tried to put me in the most ratchet store possible. Nah, brother. Nah, brother. You're gonna have to pay me. And because I didn't want to take their lowball offer.
Yeah.
And they've been regretting it ever since with your departure.
Absolutely not. Fuck them. I hope every single store burns down with nobody in it.
I haven't been to a Panera Bread since.
Yeah.
I love Panera Bread. It's tasty.
I want to try those baguette things, but other than that, I've had enough Panera food to last a lifetime. It's glorified cafeteria food.
Listen, you will not speak on St. Louis Bread Co. in that fashion.
I learned
to talk to my girlfriend Tim and tell her why Panera Bread is bad.
Oh man. Okay, so they don't actually make the soups. They don't.
They're froze as fuck.
I know. They're froze as fuck. They don't make the mac and cheese.
Yep, I knew that one.
Comes in a bag.
Their tuna comes in a bucket.
Just like the ocean.
When they rolled out that food as it should be campaign, I was like, yeah, food as it should be from a bucket.
Hey, if I can't get my food from a bucket, do I really need it?
I will say the salads and the sandwiches are pretty fresh. Like you'd have to work really hard to fuck that up.
I do I will say I like their sandwiches. Those are pretty consistent.
Nah, man, they got rid of my favorite sandwich.
Which one did they get rid of?
The Asiago roast beef.
Oh man, that was good shit.
With the horseradish? Oh, yeah. that shit was bomb.
Yeah, man, got rid of it. They replaced it with that steak sandwich on the baguette.
And that's been replaced too now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't really have any beef out. Like I can't have chicken. Like I don't eat poultry. So I have chicken. Yeah. Like all their sandwiches are chicken and turkey now. And there's like one bullshit ass beef sandwich. I was like, all right. I guess I'll just have a cookie and be on my way.
I will say the one really good thing about Panera, and then I'll stop talking about it, is that each Panera bread is actually its own bakery. They do actually bake their own bread, and it's fresh every day. And at the end of the night, they do donate it to a local food shelter.
That's one thing I wish, like, whoever, I don't know if someone in Congress has to do it, or I wish a president, or maybe even Kamala. I know you ain't doing shit right now. I really wish we would lift some of the restrictions on donating food, because as far as all the regulations go, like I can't get breaks on a fucking train, but heaven forbid I take this fucking this cold fried chicken from the deli and take it over to the homeless shelter.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it hasn't been kept to temp. It hasn't been done there. They're literally eating out of the garbage right now because they're starving to death. Can I give them
eat
food?
It anyway. Out of the back garbage behind the...
No, the garbage has to be locked up for that exact reason.
Oh. Yeah.
You have to lock it. If you don't lock your dumpsters, then that's a whole nother thing. So it's like we have this way of punishing people for being poor. We would give us the fucking tax write-off and we'll donate the chicken to the fucking... I'll drive it over there my damn self. I'll load it up in my car and drive it over there myself.
We were not allowed to give like any leftover soup or anything like that. It was only the bread because it's not a time temperature controlled product.
Right.
So, but I mean, they did still have to jump through hoops to get them to be able to donate to churches or food shelters or whatever it was.
I think that's crazy. It should be, donating food should be one of the easiest things. Like I get it, like you don't want somebody to get poisoned from like bad stuff, but these people are literally starving, and you're going to tell them you can't eat this because it's not at 100 degrees anymore. It's at 70 degrees. So now it has to go in the garbage, and you better lock up that garbage so that they don't eat it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Sons of Mine says food, Subway, it's like eating out of the garbage.
Subway, it's like eating out of the garbage.
Moderately fresh.
Fresh garbage.
If you steal food in Italy, they won't arrest you. And it's deemed a necessity because if you're stealing food, you must be starving.
Right, you're poor, so you need food.
Subway, eat trash.
I actually, the food trucks subscribe to this app that if you have leftover food as a restaurant, you can put a package together, like a care package, and someone will buy it for like at like 25% of what it actually costs. And they'll come pick up the food and everything, but it's a good idea for restaurants to give back the leftover food that they have that they're not using. You're not making any profit from it. You're probably just making costs at that point. But they're also getting like $20 worth of food for $5.
Right. It's food, guys. Who doesn't like food? Let people have. Can we have food? I think food.
No. Food is dangerous and must be regulated. Unlike guns, those are safe.
All right. So back to the good news. To the Ukraine.
Many Ukraines. There's been, we can just buzz through some of the key topic points here, because I feel like we need to keep talking about Ukraine. We can't let it go to the wayside because fuck Putin. He's a piece of shit. So remember that big Nord Stream blast that everyone blamed on Russia? Apparently, the United States now thinks it was done by a pro-Ukrainian group, even though there's been no investigation or actual proof. That's where we're at now.
Well, that's good. It's like that low degree of confidence over how COVID started. We don't really know. We're just taking a big guess.
Exactly. And like apparently Germany found the ship that may have transported the explosives, but they said there's no evidence, and have also said they're not willing to talk about what they found, so no one knows what they know.
So what exactly happened with that? So like a U-boat blew up a pipeline that was under the ocean or in the ocean.
So yeah,
World War II submarine.
There were two major pipelines connecting mainland Russia to Germany. Both had been, one wasn't completed. The main one was shut off because they were mad about sanctions. And then someone bombed it.
Which
and everyone
way?
assumed Russia bombed it.
The pipeline went both ways, or it was going to Russia or from Russia?
From Russia to Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, these pipelines are only to provide natural gas to Germany under the ocean.
Under the sea. Not the right time.
And yeah, so the gas
Neptune.
had been turned off, but someone bombed them and damaged the pipeline.
Has anyone asked Namor about his thoughts on this?
It was Neptune, king of the sea.
King Triton. It was me.
Is this a confession?
Yeah.
Are you? He's telling us he did it. Now keep your damn pipes out of my seas. And he blew it up. He blew it up with his little trident. I thought that 3-pointed spear thing he had, I thought that was called the Triton. I was like, wow. He's named after the thing he carries. That's stupid.
This is Triton squared.
Yeah. I was like, why is his name Triton if he uses a Triton? That's dumb.
Magic reasons. Yeah, Russia's casualties continue to mount over the unstrategic battle for Bakhmut that has no strategic anything to Russia. They have decided that this is the hill they're going to die on, and they've lost potentially 30,000 troops in this fight since it started over the winter.
Is the city literally built on a hill? Because that'd be pun worthy right there.
Well, it's a hill of rubble now since they blew up most of it, but
I think a lot of the Russian strategy at this point is do as much possible damage to wherever they can.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they wanted the Ukraine.
Yeah, but
they do.
But a lot of their tactics in the last couple of months have been indiscriminately bombing shit.
Like how many missiles can we fire at the Ukraine's power plants to knock out their power? It's been their strategy since December.
I remember the really tense moments when the Ukrainians and the Russians were fighting over the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe. And that was like, ooh boy. And the Russians were like, yeah, we don't really care about the power plant that much.
So
except they station troops in it.
So if I'm naked sunbathing, I'm going to paint you guys a picture here. So if I'm naked,
I don't want to see this picture.
I'm naked laying in the sun on a towel by the beach, right? And a mosquito lands on my ball sack. Is the thing to do to pull out a shotgun to get the mosquito?
Got it.
Like, why are you blowing up the Ukraine if you want it?
Because they're mad now. Because this should have been over 9 months ago.
Yeah,
and
I keep swatting at the mosquito and I keep missing. Now it's shotgun time. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's not going to help your problem. You're not going to find the mosquito or your balls.
They're out of good troops. All their good troops are either dead, captured, or are in constant defensive combat. They're out of all modern tanks, so they're retrofitting and throwing in 40-year-old tanks because that's all they have. They're out of smart munitions, so they're buying ammunition from Iran and North Korea to just do massive bombardments of just fucking throw everything that way. And they're back to meat shield tactics. They're throwing, like if we go to the next article.
Got it.
I think it's the next. Nope. Next one. The one that's the tank. 2 over. This happened recently in a town near Bakhmut. They literally did the same strategy as the beginning of the war when they were driving to Kyiv in column on the road. They lost another 100 to 130 tanks and armored vehicles because Ukraine just bombed the shit out of them as they drove in one at a time.
Tuscans always go single file to hide their numbers.
I love the third paragraph. Retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis told Newsweek on Wednesday that Russia's report of loss shows a number of tactical errors and mistakes in ways they should already know don't work.
Because they keep doing it, and like they're throwing with these unsupported armored columns. They're just throwing infantry in waves, and they're just getting slaughtered. That's why the estimates are at 30,000 dead. They're using Soviet-era huck their troops at the enemy and hope it does something.
Well, yeah, because Russia never really needed like super strategic actions because, let's see, the wars they fought in were mostly revolutions against their own country. World War II, which they basically just had to keep the Germans out.
Yep.
And then they could just storm Berlin. And the Soviet, the Cold War, which basically was a whole lot of positioning and not a lot of combat, except for Afghanistan, which they lost.
A bunch of YIOTAs.
But at least their military was competent in Afghanistan. It's not...
Yeah, until, America funded the people they were fighting.
The Taliban?
The Taliban.
Yeah. Boy, America, that was a...
Whoops.
That was a whoopsie.
Let's give javelins and Stinger missiles to the Taliban. It'll be fine. They'll never use those against us.
What's his name? Osama bin Laden? Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
Hey, you're a pal of mine now. Hey, Osama, why don't you work with us? Okay, let's work together here. We're gonna train you. Okay.
Now you have to promise in 20 years you won't use any of this against us.
Oh, it's the Mujahideen. It's not technically the Taliban.
Oh, that's true.
But for joke purposes,
but
for joke purposes, we will be calling them the Taliban.
It later became the group that was formerly known as not the Taliban.
The radicals formerly known as.
Yes.
All right.
What other Ukraine news? So yeah, this one's pretty scary. You can just kind of scroll down and hit all the major pictures. The amount of fake news, mainly from the conservative right in the United States, about how this war is completely fake, is starting to become frightening. Like in this one here, apparently there's like no evidence that this war is going on. Like they're expecting like World War II era documentaries.
I ain't see Tucker's not playing it, so I don't know what you're talking about. Ain't no war in no Ukraine. Tell you that right now, buddy.
And it's just, I don't know, if you scroll down, my favorite one, well, this is my second favorite. Apparently they're claiming this building couldn't have been rebuilt fast enough since it was bombed at the start of the war. So this is fake.
Wait, so it couldn't have been rebuilt because it's been a year and no one can rebuild a building in a year?
Hey, look.
Yes, and if they're fighting a war, they don't have the resources to rebuild a building.
Yeah,
that's their argument.
Everybody uses bricks in war. Those bricks have to go to make tanks. Oh wait, no,
they go to the catapults. We use them in catapults.
The trebuchet, the brick trebuchets that they have. Like, what are you talking about?
Fire?
No one. That's weird. That's like, there's no way you have spoons in your kitchen. I just saw you eat a steak. Come on. And you
can eat a steak with a spoon. I've done it.
That's a good steak.
You
can cut it with a spoon. On the cake. That's a good ass steak. That's a good ass steak. I want that steak.
This one, I actually had a friend send this to me and say, what is happening in Ukraine? I think something's wrong. One of these body bags moved, and they're saying that the casualty numbers are being faked. This is an image from Austria pre-war about a climate protest that has been rebranded as Ukrainians lying about casualties.
Oh yeah, that stuff gets done all the time where they take like pictures that are not at all related to whatever the event is, and they're like, "Oh, this has totally happened at this thing." That I forget what it was, but someone did that to repurpose the footage from something that happened in like Israel and superimpose that to the Ukrainian war. Like there were two complete hit my microphone again. There were two complete I gotta stop being so Italian. There were two completely different things.
You might have to go with you might have to go with the top down maneuver so you can get your arm space back.
Yeah.
So you flip it so it hangs. That way you can get your full Bruce Lee on.
That's why I wear mine. I can't hit mine if
I'm far too Italian for this setup over here.
Hey.
What's the matter, you?
What's the matter, you?
That's and I remember like when they would show like because I was in St. Louis during the Ferguson protest, and they kept showing like fire, and then DOJ did an investigation. You'll never guess how much of that shit was insurance fraud. These people were nowhere near the protest, but then all of my
protesters burned down my shop.
All of my inventory just got set on fire by protesters. I don't know what we're gonna do, insurance company. What do you think? I don't know. Pay me for all of it. It's like, yeah, you're not gonna just set it on fire and count it as sold because you're gonna blame it on the protest. And they kept showing that, like, they kept showing the same house that was like on fire or being burned. No. The bushes outside that house were on fire, and they were on fire because these assholes were firing fucking tear gas canisters indiscriminately. It ricochets down the street, rolls into a dry bush because it's fucking summertime, and lo and behold, those things are hundreds of degrees with that fucking smoke comes out. Like, they're very, very hot. And yeah, it set the bush on fire and started to catch the siding on the house on fire, and then they put it out. But they just kept showing that clip. The protesters did this. No, the cops did that. But hey, tell Cucker that.
So tell everyone you know to research things you see, whether on a conservative or a more liberal news outlet. Double check your sources. Takes about 10 minutes.
If that.
Like, it might take a little time to find the source if you really need to look for it. But that one was pretty easy to find. And but I know, like my friend, I don't think they checked. They just assumed and then sent it to me. But it's.
Oh, how about Zelensky's body double over here?
Yeah, Poland fucked up on that one. They accidentally took a picture of it and shared it.
Y'all saying you saying they both look alike? Y'all racist. Hey, hold on. What you trying to say? All Ukrainians look the same? What you trying to say? He does look, they favor each other, but I mean, you put two dudes of similar builds with similar hair color and
wearing the same shirt.
Yeah, with the same uniformed outfit, like the Go Ukraine fucking hoodie. Like, yeah, of course they're gonna look the same. All right, that's it for that one.
And it ties into the last article that we can. Oh, there's actually two, but yeah, Biden went there, show of support. Everyone yelled at him because how dare you not care about the train crash in Ohio instead?
Well, he took a train. He took a train.
He did, but fuck him anyway. Because
he was pro train.
T-Pain. Did he listen to T-Pain on the Pro Train?
I love me some T-Pain. And what the fuck did y'all want him to do in Ohio? He don't know how to fix trains
and shake people's hands. I don't.
Yeah, what do you want? And I've said this 1,000 times too. You don't want people from DC coming to your fucking town. They shut down all the fucking roads. It's a fucking nightmare. You don't want presidents, vice presidents, secretaries that you don't want them coming to your area. It is like a parade that you can't plan for. You just can't get anywhere.
Yeah, at best you want a congressman because they have their SUV and then a security detail and that's it. There's two cars. Yes. No one's blocking traffic.
Not 2 helicopters, 12 vehicles, shutting down all streets.
Yeah, and it's not just the street that they're on. It's the neighboring streets too. So if your house is over there, well, just park here, sir. And you can walk the 13 blocks over to your house with your groceries because you're not driving that car over here.
Well, he could have done the Trump thing, like Trump went to Puerto Rico and started hucking toilet paper into the crowd. Maybe that's what they wanted.
Yeah, he started Kobe Bryant fucking paper towel rolls at people. Like, that's good. Here, Bounty will clean up the hurricane. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what paper towels are going to do to fix a fucking hurricane spillage, but I don't think that's branded in their commercials.
The last one, other way. One the other way.
Bloop.
Nope, never mind. Which one is it?
This one? Oh, no. This one?
No, that's Body Double.
I thought I sent it to you. It's the 12-point peace plan that China put out for Ukraine.
Oh God.
Did I not?
Is it point 1? Ukraine must surrender to Russia. Point 2.
It basically says nothing. That they should stop fighting and peace is better.
Respect the sovereignty
there's no
of
plan
all countries.
Here.
Well, I mean, they should be sending this to Russia. Respect the sovereignty of all countries, abandoning Cold War mentality, ceasing hostilities.
Hold on, China said this?
Things.
Yeah, this is China's peace plan.
The nerve.
Those are 3 things that they should be like, Putin, listen.
Get out.
You gotta stop doing this shit.
Meanwhile, in Taiwan. Meanwhile, in Hong Kong.
Some analysis did say they're preempting a Taiwan thing by putting out this plan. Yeah. But not sure exactly what it means. But it's a bunch of bluster. There is no real solution to the problem here other than you should stop shooting at each other.
Yeah, well, China's trying to be the nice guy in all of this, even though they're very close to selling weapons to Russia. But they've been trying to play.
No, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say they've been trying to play Putin's best friend since before the war started.
Don't blow up nuclear power plants. That's a key point.
I mean, that's a given.
This is crazy.
We should rebuild after they stop fighting. That's another key point. No, I figured we should just let it burn.
Someone's gotta. Why can't it be us?
Yeah. China's like, no, we'll help you rebuild.
Ooh.
Don't worry about those other countries. We'll help you rebuild when it's all over.
Hey, man.
Perfect.
Nothing's for free. Nothing's for free.
Well, China's been going around buying up all these ports in South America and Africa, saying, we'll build this infrastructure for you, but we're going to use it for what we want too.
They've been doing that in Africa
why not,
for a couple decades now.
Take it,
That's what they were like, hey, man, we'll make a road for you. Don't you want some new road? Where's the road going to go? Just to that mine over there.
Don't worry about that gold mine.
Just from the mine. Just from the mine to the port. That's all.
It's definitely a mine that we don't own, I think.
Well, could we have it since we made the road?
Yes.
We'll build you a port too, so we have a safe and efficient way of taking all of your shit. Can we have your resources?
Just give us your resources is what we're saying.
Look, I'm going to take your resources anyway, but I need a road to drive it out of here smoothly. So
China's like, no, wait, it's everyone's resources. So we get some.
We get,
and then
we get like 80%. We get 80%. You can have 20%.
Yeah. 3 for me, 1 for you.
Forever.
All right, guys, we're going to take...
Yeah, that's the break.
Them's the...
But them's the breaks.
And speaking of breaks, it's time for us to take a quick 5-minute break. We will be back real quick. Bye.
Yeah. We're back.
I waited for you to sip, and then I brought us back. Because that's the way to get them.
Welcome back to From the Center We Speak.
I think it's a really major mistake and an insult to me.
God.
I'm very glad we're about to react to this video because not only do I love Jon Stewart, but I miss him. I miss him being. I'm not buying Apple TV. That's first.
Good choice.
They are no, okay. They're too late.
Enough money.
They're too late to the game. They're too late to the game to be trying to charge me for yet another subscription service. I just can't. I don't have it. Okay, I ain't got it. Paramount, HBO, Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu.
Peacock.
Well, we got rid of Peacock. And then I got YouTube Premium. I got all my Twitch subs for all my friends that I love. Spotify. I'm tapped, guys.
No, more.
I has none left. It's all gone. But
I got the Apple TV, but only because I share a password.
Oh. Well, that's okay.
I'm telling.
All right. Let's see. Report to Apple.
No.
You don't want zero problems, big fella.
Oh my God. If you guys haven't seen this yet, you're in for a real delight.
Do you have the more you know sound thing?
Oh, damn it. I think I wrote that
told
down.
you.
I think I wrote it down and everything.
Nah. I'll just sing it when we need to.
Yeah. All right. I'm pushing the button. That means you guys sing it.
The more you know.
Beautiful.
The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That's
the more you
right
know.
That's listed in the Constitution that uses that very specific.
And bonus points if you guys can spot the logical fallacy that he uses in real time.
Oh, affirmative language, shall not be.
It's also the one right that uses the phrase well regulated.
Correct, when it's talking about the militia and the state.
By the way, just for clarity's sake,
yeah,
I'm not against the Second Amendment. I'm not against. I don't want to ban guns, but you're saying more guns makes us more safe.
Yes.
Yes.
So
more guns equal more safety. Got it.
We got 400 million guns in the country. We had an increase and gun deaths went up. So when exactly does this curve hit that takes it down? All right. Would a billion guns?
First pause. That is the best. He's like, all right, if you were to graph this out as guns on a curve and more safe on a curve, where would they meet and cross?
Probably.
Give us the graph.
Probably at 1 billion guns.
If you were to do a linear regression, where would it be that guns and safeness meet?
I think there would be another line to how many bullets are produced, because if you literally have so many guns that we're out of ammo, gun deaths will go down.
There should be more guns than bullets.
Well, that's the fucking Swedish method. You have to keep your bullets at the range. You can own all the guns you want, but you have to keep their bullets at the designated range.
Oh, it's just the best. He's like,
pistol whip your ass.
He's like, there's more guns than people. How many more guns than people do we need before we're safe?
10.
Yes, 10.
The country. We had an increase and gun deaths went up. So when exactly did...
He doesn't even know how fucked he is, and that's what makes it so great. He doesn't even know how fucked. Why would you agree to this? This is Jon fucking Stewart, man.
My wife and I were talking about this, and she was like, this dude had to be like, he has handlers, right? Yes. And he's got like a chief of staff or whatever. He was prepped for this.
Yes.
he was prepared. He had answers for what he thought Jon Stewart was going to ask him. Yeah, and Jon Stewart blindsides him.
Over and over again.
But them's the breaks.
Does this curve hit that takes it down? Would 1 billion guns do it?
Let's just run those numbers. 400 million, 50,000. You're talking about less than a fraction of not even 1%, of 100th of a percent.
But it goes up, not down. So your argument is backwards.
But if you want, okay, so let's come up with a solution. Okay, so one of the issues, a contributing factor.
Waiting for it.
This is all the way up. maybe that's the way that they're trying to stifle us in our love. This is, I can crank that. That's it. That's all I can do for volume. Sorry, Ollie.
I believe it's the individual that is the problem.
So your solution to that is give them more guns.
So I'm saying that because
la 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 la. Now, I assume there's a certain amount of this guy is prepared for, right? Hopefully he knows who Jon Stewart is, and
He better.
He avoids a lot of questions by just simply not answering them. That's like the first one. He's like, I'm gonna ignore what Jon Stewart just said.
He got fucking stunned like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
them more
they
guns.
stun locked him.
But then the brakes, right?
So I'm saying that because people are the problem, we need to look at the problems that those people are facing and how do we address it.
But you've removed the ability for the state to do that.
No, because you're...
If you don't have background checks and you don't have registration and permitting, how do you know who has a problem in terms of the people who you're giving a gun to?
Do you want to talk about the background checks first, or do you want to talk about solutions first?
I want to talk about what you're doing.
Don't ever give him the opening. Don't give him the question.
The guy's trying to use this is a sort of a tactic they use. They're like, they bring up a bunch of topics and they're like, oh, do you want to talk about this verse and this verse? And Jon Stewart was like, no, fuck you.
He tried to reframe the conversation to regain control of the conversation, and Jon's just not accepting his premise. I just refuse. He's just refusing to accept it. So now what are you gonna do? I'm not gonna play your black or white fallacy. I'm just going to ask you a different question that I know you haven't prepped for.
Background checks first, or do you want to talk about solutions first?
I want to talk about what you're doing is you're bringing chaos to order.
That's your subjective opinion, that it's bringing chaos to order.
It's not my subjective opinion. We have 50,000 gun-related deaths. That's not a subjective opinion.
Okay, so
that's dead people. Let me back up for a second. In every other place in your life, you want to bring order, but guns are the outlier for you. So let's start with immigration. You want registration, maybe a wall, maybe not a wall. Why do you want that?
Well, one of the reasons is because of the fentanyl crisis.
Right.
I mean, okay, but
you don't know when it's coming across. So.
Whoa. How are you this bad?
Man, so this is also a common politician talking point, is to move the conversation to something else that's not related, and to talk on that grounds, like sort of shifting the goalposts. And this guy is going to use every trick in the book to try and get out of answering these questions. He's going to move the goalposts. He's going to change the conversation. He's going to try and put the onus on Jon. And he's going to he's going to avoid talking about statistics as much as he possibly can, because they aren't on his side.
At all.
At all.
Not even a little bit.
Hey, Mikey, Progress only says to check Twitter, because apparently Ollieman is still having issues with it being too quiet. Maybe there's a different link we use.
Ollie said he was going to turn his shit up.
He said it didn't work. It just made us louder.
The video is not super loud, but there's not too much I can do about that. That's just what it is on YouTube. It's a quiet video. Sorry.
But them's the breaks.
What do you
the
do?
fentanyl crisis is twice what the gun death crisis is.
Okay, so until the gun crisis gets to the fentanyl level,
not until it.
You don't want to bring order.
No, not until it.
Shazam! We have a special
guest. He
guest.
talks himself into a corner. He constantly does that.
He likes being in the corner. It's fun. All right, you boys talk amongst yourselves for a couple minutes. I got some production stuff to do real quick.
Production. So, what we were talking about, with this guy, he's going to talk himself to a corner. Jon lays several traps for this guy to fucking walk all over.
Yes.
He fucking falls into all of them. Like, it's not.
He didn't miss one. Like, he fell into every trap. He's very good at catching.
And even this one, what he just said, he trapped himself by saying, "Oh, well, more people die from fentanyl than gun deaths." And Jon's like, "Oh, so until gun deaths get to the level of fentanyl, we don't care," is what you're saying.
Yeah. So dumb.
It's not. I don't think it's discussed in this clip, but there was a breakdown of like the states that have very high gun regulation. So California, Chicago, New York, and they've been able to track all the weapons that are coming into the state that are causing violent crimes. They're all the border states that don't regulate their guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Indiana.
No,
all of our gun crime shit, they're all Indiana guns. Like a breathtakingly large majority of them are from Indiana. Because it's easier to just go across the border. It's fucking 45 minutes and then they get whatever they need. And then they just buy it and they just drive back over the border. How hard is that?
Yeah, I think all of New York's guns are from like Florida and South Carolina and Texas. Like, it's ridiculous. And I think you're right, Mark. I don't think they included that bit in the interview because there's an extra like 4 minutes before this clip and 2 minutes after it that they don't include, which are hilarious too. I watched the whole thing. It's fucking hilarious. They actually go into where the guns come from pretty well. And that guy just, once again, he just thinks his talking points are going to work and they're not.
Progress only is on the show. Yeah. What's
now
up,
we'll
brother?
Know more.
The more we know. What's up? Thanks for joining us, Alex.
Yeah, I got some of my stuff done, so I sent a thing seeing if you'd let me in.
Hell yeah. You are more than welcome. Welcome to the suck.
Is that the new name of the show?
Oh, no. It's because that person... It's because that person complained we weren't centrist enough.
Busted his pelvic into me to try to provoke me, try to elicit a reaction.
Let's see if this guy wants like a steam-powered shovel to dig a deeper hole now.
But
you see my point?
If we're going to talk about protecting lives, that's a larger issue in America than guns is. If we're talking about individual lives.
Wait.
Boy.
That's false equivalency.
Lives are important.
But
I can't actually say the state.
You know, there was a congresswoman after the latest mass shooting who was like, listen, at this point, you either care about children's lives or lives in general, or you don't when it comes to gun violence. And this guy is clearly on the side of don't. He doesn't give a shit.
Well, just give the teachers guns. I only pay them like $10 an hour to
You mean the Marxist?
Yes, the Marxist lesbian communist teachers. I want them to all have ARs so they can stop the people who I refuse to fucking red flag and stop from having guns.
Thank you. They need AA-12s with the drum clip.
The striker.
Scare the shit out of anybody that comes.
Every teacher will have a rocket launcher.
Yeah, give them all LMGs with the 100 round drum. See what happens.
The RPG attachment under.
Just install it. Install a mount into the teacher's desk.
Sentry guns.
Sentry guns. There you go.
In the back of the classroom.
It's only like six. It's only a 6-kill streak in COD, so they can't be that expensive.
Exactly.
Don't go that way. Don't go that way. Recess is on this field today. Jesus Christ, Jimmy. God, you almost Swiss cheesed yourself there.
Sorry, Jimmy's parents. He went to the bathroom without the bathroom pass.
Oh yeah, they got a hall monitor. The hall monitor is like that robot from what was that? RoboCop? When they
RoboCop? Oh yeah.
Drop the weapon. It's a hall pass.
First request, present hall pass. Here it is. Second request, present hall pass.
I don't have it. I gave it to you already. Present hall pass.
Loss of life in America. There's loss of life through fentanyl. There's loss of life through obesity. The obesity crisis in America.
Boy, all the obfuscating.
Plot twist, McDonald's now kills more people annually than anything else.
Yeah. Jeez.
Costs 6 times the number of lives as guns.
Right. And so, you're the guy saying, you know what would help this? Ice cream.
No. So
yeah.
Exactly. Hey, now if he in Oklahoma, if he gets all the shake machines working at all the McDonald's, you know what? He's getting a second term. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. I will move down there and vote for this motherfucker. I will work for him.
Instant re-election for life.
He will be the next fucking Mitch McConnell if he can get all the shake machines working at all the McDonald's in Oklahoma. God, it's that's like high school like class stuff. You know, like the class president is like, and I promise there's gonna be a new vending machine at the bottom of the stairs instead of the top of the stairs. That's that.
It will have Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
It will.
Will it have Code Red?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Game Fuel.
Oh.
Yes.
What was it? Is that the one that was like the purpley one?
No, it was like a darker red
black.
than the
Pitch Black.
I love it.
I liked Pitch Black. I like that shit.
It's back again.
I gotta go.
We need Vault. Remember that shit?
Oh man.
Get to it.
Vault? I never had that.
That was the best.
It was
green.
So good. It's a different.
Oh, I do remember that. It was
Get
like
to it.
It was like Mountain Dew times 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like thick boy Mountain Dew. Alex, check your mic real quick. I think it's picking up something different.
Yep.
Keith and I went on a road trip once with like 2 packs of Vault, and we never slept.
Hell yeah.
6 days later.
We're already here, and I can't go to sleep.
We just kept saying get to it.
It might be in Skype that you have to switch over your mic. It's real funky. The first time's always rough.
You know what would help the problem that we're facing with firearms?
What?
The fatherlessness crisis that we have in America.
Oh, dog whistle.
Sweet baby
Dog
Jesus.
whistle.
Sweet baby Jesus.
The more we thought we knew.
If you look at the statistics.
Right. Yeah, they're dying from gun deaths.
80%.
Oh, dude, what do you don't know how to do anything, huh?
Look at the statistics.
Right. Yeah, they're dying from gun deaths.
80% of school shooters either came from a broken or fatherless home.
So you would say no guns for fatherless homes?
No, that's not what I would say.
Well, then what the fuck are you saying?
I would say that fathers need.
I love his confused face.
So you would say no guns for fatherless homes?
No, that's not what I would say.
Oh. Well, then what were you saying? I don't get it.
John, that is such a good face, man.
You gotta screen cap that. We have to turn that into like something.
Say what you mean, bro.
I would say that fathers need to be more engaged.
Great. So let's
with a firearm if they don't have a father.
Ooh, the wind has begun. Here, go ahead and give us a little mic check there. Let's see how you're doing.
Yeah, I'm trying to check it. Crisp is picking up my heater. I'm trying to get it to stop.
Okay.
Put more resources into areas that are poverty-stricken. All for it.
And into fatherlessness, and that's something that we're doing.
But why, with guns, are you against bringing order?
I'm not against bringing order.
You are. You're also making it less safe for cops and for people. When the police go to...
And I like how John's doing the reverse dog whistle.
Yeah.
He's like, why do you want it to be more dangerous for cops?
Why do you want to kill all the cops?
Why do you hate cops? I thought you backed the blue.
Man, if MAGA Republicans keep down this path, they might actually start to lose support from the police because it's going to get more and more and more dangerous for them.
Yeah.
Well, the cops don't go where the white people are with the guns. They just go to the hood.
That's true.
They just go to the hood where people are already not allowed to own guns because they got picked up for felonies for fucking selling weed and you know what I mean? And or not fucking having their licenses or their registration plates all perfect, so those guys can't own guns anymore. So they don't mind going into the hood.
To a domestic call.
To beat the shit out of teenagers.
Most dangerous call they can go on. In your world, if they knew that there were firearms in the house, that's a safer call. Is that what you're saying?
No, because police...
Because why?
Because police treat every situation as a potential...
But more guns makes us safer. So why don't, when the police go to a house filled with guns, why don't they breathe a sigh of relief knowing that this Second Amendment that shall not be infringed is being exercised so fruitfully in this home?
Are you familiar with the 39-year-old woman in New Jersey
I'm familiar with a ton of
here we go.
Anecdote time.
I'm asking you a simple question.
This is not an anecdote,
When
John.
the police
This actually happened.
go to a
She had
house,
a restraining order on her ex-boyfriend.
I
of an
can run
individual.
through
I know, we can both run through
hundreds and
that.
hundreds of examples of women killed by their domestic partners by guns
A lot of them cops.
that were not taken away through the lessening of red flag laws. You're pivoting to anecdotes.
No, this is not anecdotes.
What the police say, if we had gun registration, if we were able to track purchases, they have a technology that every bullet would be stamped with an individual like a fingerprint. If we had an ATF that wasn't defunded, we would be able to.
Hey, I thought we were supposed to defund the cops, not the ATF. Wait a minute.
They are
Not my explosives and alcohol.
It's the feds. The Republicans have been trying to defund everything Fed for years now.
Golly.
Enforce gun laws more effectively, and we would be able to solve gun crimes more effectively. You're against all of that.
Because the person is the threat, not the firearm, not the knife.
I get it.
That's
And
why
It's all the gun is a tool debate.
I'll lay this trap card face down.
The person and the individual
trap
is what
hole.
is the concern
Great,
here.
but you don't want anything.
You've activated my trap card. I said the wrong thing. Damn it.
That could help law enforcement or society determine whether or not a person is a good guy with a gun or a bad guy with a gun.
Most
The
even law
registry
enforcement.
would allow you to have much more effective background checks. So I don't understand why you won't just admit that you are making it harder for police to manage the streets by allowing all of these guns to go out without permits, without checks, and without background stuff. Why is that hard? Why can't you just stand by that?
Why is that? Why can't you just stand by that?
Just say it.
What's so hard? Just say it.
Say it, bitch.
No,
Because that would mean an effective government.
Gonna go back to the anecdote or broken homes.
Look, if I can just blame black kids and weirdo kids, I can keep all the guns I want. I don't want to do that. Can I just fix the shake machines?
Can I just blame fat people again?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
But McDonald's, meanwhile, is supersizing shit and you don't say nothing to them.
We've identified one person named Jared who is the cause of all gun crime. We will
HR
watch.
Johnson, thanks for the follow. I thought you were following already. I'm glad you're here now. I won't. Yeah.
That's not what I'm doing. I'm defending the individual's right to keep and bear arms.
That's a different argument.
Okay, but
You
we
may
keep
do.
trying-
Here's what I'm saying. You want to say I'm a Second Amendment purist.
Always like
and
that statement, but they hate the statement before it. The well-regulated militia statement. They ignore that entirely.
Yeah. Well,
That's just a separate issue. That's not even connected to the rest of the amendment.
I drew in a comma in my copy of the Constitution, so I can just ignore that first part.
That's what the Supreme Court did. They put in the comma.
That's they're amending the Constitution. They're gonna they're gonna push it through the states just to get a comma in there so they can.
They can't do that.
Golly.
Safer. You're not.
This man is in deep water, and
Yeah,
I think he's starting to. He's starting to feel the maw beneath him. That is the John Stewart Great White. Like there is a megalodon beneath your little flippers there, tiny fish. This is getting bad for him.
You're making it more chaotic, and that's not a matter of opinion. That's the truth.
That is a matter of opinion, John.
But why take away their tools?
Because certain of their tools that they're using would be infringements upon the people's right to keep and bear arms, upon their constitutional rights, upon due process, upon other things.
So he wants everyone to have a nuke. He wants every American to own a nuke.
Why not?
Why can't I have my nuclear bomb?
I only want chemical weapons. I don't even want.
Oh my God!
This is an infringement.
Mark, I'm 20 miles away from Dow's headquarters. I'm sure I have some nearby.
Is voting a right?
It's a right for citizens, yes.
Do you have to do anything to do it?
You've activated my trap card.
There you go. That's the.
It depends on the state.
What do you have to do?
Sometimes you have to be at least 18 years old.
What do you have to do?
And in some places you
Say
have
the word.
to have a government issued ID.
What do you have to? You have to
be on the voter rolls.
Register.
Look at his face. He's like, damn it.
Shit.
Like, fuck. You got me.
Damn it.
I think is a really major mistake and an insult to me.
So you have to register to a right. Is that an infringement?
Does the right to voting say shall not be infringed?
Why can't you just answer with your little weird ass? It's so frustrating.
So you have to register to a right. Is that an infringement?
Does the right to voting say shall not be infringed?
Oh, so this is just a semantic argument now.
No, it's not.
You believe voting rights
An apologetics argument.
Yeah, it sure is.
infringed because it doesn't say specifically shall not be infringed.
Is it an infringement upon a 17-year-old's right to vote, since they don't have that right to vote?
No.
Oh, it's not an infringement on them?
No, absolutely not.
Why not?
Because you're the one making the argument, not me. I'm saying even rights have responsibilities, and that within those responsibilities are responsibilities and order. Otherwise, it's chaotic. I'll go you one further. You want to ban drag show readings to children?
To minors, yes.
Why?
Why?
What are you protecting?
Why can we prohibit children from
Pause it
voting?
again. He's put down another trap card.
I'm sure this is a magic card during his turn. He's just boosting his attack stats at this point.
Yeah, his attack power is just climbing. He's at 4,300. Your life
Golden
point.
battle axe and fuck you.
I summon Exodia. Obliterate.
18 from voting.
Why are you
but
banning
also that?
Is that free speech? Are you infringing on that performer's free speech?
Oh no!
Whoops.
You went 2A.
Don't answer that one.
He went 2A, so he went 1A.
Oh,
no!
This is gonna
Don't
go
answer
bad.
that one.
Don't answer it.
Just
It's
walk
bad for him
away.
either way.
All right,
Walk away.
All right, let's help this guy out. What is the best thing he could do at this point to save himself?
Fake a heart attack.
I was gonna say shit your pants.
I was gonna say. I have to get up and leave now. I have an important meeting.
I left the oven on.
Take off that suit and just look livid for the camera.
Just if he could find a way to shrink his head inside of his like a turtle.
Like Michelangelo when the foot soldier came up with the little axe and he was like and he sucked his head in.
His
Mitch
best
McConnell has
option.
that
His best option is the Ben Shapiro. I can't take this anymore. I'm leaving this interview. Like this is ridiculous. I'm leaving. I don't want to be here anymore.
Or
like that's his
pocket sand.
Pocket sand. Shut up.
Fucking Dale Gribble your way right out of that situation.
They are close in Oklahoma.
Yeah. This fucking
sand.
They can continue to exercise their free speech, just not in front of a child.
Why?
Because the government does have a responsibility to protect.
I'm sorry?
Oh, trap card activated.
Oh.
You can't park this, huh?
The government does have a responsibility in certain instances to
What's the
protect children.
leading cause of death amongst children in this country?
McDonald's.
Subway. Eat trash.
Eat trash.
Child
cocaine. Cocaine?
Cocaine bears.
Cocaine bears.
Wait a minute.
And I'm going to give you a hint. It's not drag show readings. So,
hey, that was a good hint.
What is it?
I'm presuming you're going to say it's firearms.
No, I'm not going to say it like it's an opinion. That's what it is. It's firearms. More than cancer, more than car accidents. And what you're telling me is you don't mind infringing free speech to protect
I've had
children.
a car accidents like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it was still car accidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From this amorphous thing that you think of. But when it comes to children that have died, you don't give a flying fuck to stop that because that shall not be infringed. That is hypocrisy at its highest order.
He is the man, the myth, the legend. You will sing his name. They call him the King in the North. That's Jon Snow. I'm calling him Jon Snow from now on. No more Jon Stewart. He's Jon Snow. Jeez.
Stewie Storm.
God.
Fucking got him.
Tore his ass up.
I want him to run for president just so he can be in the debates.
Oh, what if he moderated?
Moderate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart moderate all the debates.
I bet he would do it.
I bet he would.
I bet he would do it. Oh, come on, Johnny. Come on. King in the North. You gotta moderate the debates for us.
Tim, you got to boot up your Truth Social, and we got to put on there. Jon Stewart needs to moderate all presidential debates for the next.
Oh, is that your new truth?
That's the truth, baby.
Posted.
I can't.
Oh my god.
Man, but we're just about out of time. Go ahead and wrap us up there, Tim.
I was gonna say if you get a chance to watch the extra like 4 minutes around that interview, at the very beginning, Jon Stewart cites some statistic about gun violence, and the guy was like, "Oh, where do you get that from? What's your source?" And so Jon Stewart was like, "Hand me my source." And so he has a PA come give him a sheet with all the things he's citing for the day, and he's like, the police unions, New York City research, national research, all this other research, and Jon Stewart was like, "Where do you get your source from?" And he cited one guy who apparently is a conspiracy nut, and he's like, "Yeah, that's a problematic source to have." Like these guys don't fucking know.
And
they don't have sources.
And that leads into what we like started off the show with. I don't know how, given all the information and the facts, you can still hold these positions and be honest with yourself. Like you just can't. Like you can't look at the fact that car crashes, which were it was for adults too, right? Like car crashes, like driving a car is dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of people drive, but a lot of people die on the road. Like it happens far, far too often, whether it's drunk driver, distracted driver,
texting. Oh my God.
Dude, I fucking lose my shit when I see people fucking texting and driving. I lose my fucking shit every time.
Dog drivers.
And yet there are still people. I did a car comparison website for a couple of years. I did a booth at the local car show. I had people come up because one of my things was about safety in cars, who said we should not have seatbelts or airbags in cars because that's just natural selection at work. And I just went,
wow.
What the fuck?
Okay, first of all, that's not even how natural selection works. Because somebody who's not
natural selection,
but someone who is genetically, I don't mean to sound like a weirdo thing about, but someone who's genetically inferior to me, like someone who's got like 1,000 things wrong with him, 1,000 health issues, can still run me over with a vehicle. That's not survival of the fittest. That's you're being irresponsible with a car. You're not a better match for your environment. You're just texting your fucking girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. Ugh.
I don't think we should require driver's license anymore because that's regulation, and the Constitution says something about regulation bad.
Oh, yeah, it's not in the Constitution that I have to have a driver's license. Like, what the fuck? But it is in the Constitution that you have to listen to the laws of the state. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
That's the 10th Amendment.
No.
That is the 10th Amendment.
Well, there you go.
There you go. So yeah, that is going to be it for the show. Thanks to Alex for coming on. Hopefully we see you again.
Hell yeah.
And I've been Tim, and Mark is here, and Mikey.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Stick around for the raid. Bye. Oh, Alex, tell everybody where to find you.
I'm here on Twitch and Progress Only. I just got affiliate this week, so I did something yesterday with spreadsheets. I upload shit on YouTube, and I run a local accountability page, which one of the things that you guys watched a couple weeks ago about free speech, this baby at the podium won, and they shot it down because one of the commissioners said, I will not vote to criminalize discourse. So turn the vote. So
we got to check that one out.
Wins.
All right, cool. We got to check that one out next week.
Number one, we should cover that next week. For sure.
If you're available next week, it would be great to have you here to talk us through it, because that would be even funnier. And then we can see all your trap cards that you laid face down.
So those council meetings just look entertaining.
Last week's was pretty interesting.
All right. Stick around for the raid. Bye.
Bye.